today's episode, let's sit down with my former journalism teacher and see what she's been up to for the last 6 years. Here we go. Welcome back, guys, to the LYGHT show. Today's a special day. I don't know what word to describe this person. Today we have my journalism teacher, Miss Amanda Mercer.
Hello.
She taught me photojournalism in yearbook at Clemens High School in Texas. You know, I moved here my senior year, literally like 2 days before senior year starts. And then, I don't know if I signed up for Photo J. I think it was cool to take an elective, not the only cool thing. To look on the whole sheet at Clemens. And then I think, like, in September, I kind of switched into yearbook.
Yeah.
And then, it was pretty cool. It's like, she's not your normal teacher. I know I get attached to, like, the drama, the yearbook, the quiet teacher. She's one of them. I actually took the class, though, and got an A in it. And got the hardest walker, even though I was never in the classroom.
You were always working, though. You were always working at something.
Yes.
Maybe not what we were hoping he was working at, but he was always working on something.
I just want to get in class after time, But, you know, it's been 6 years since I see senior in person. And you left Clemens.
I did.
And now you have 2 amazing brands. And you have amazing kids.
Thank you.
You have grown up.
Thank you.
God, it was little. Like, one was even born yet.
Yes.
The other one was just really little. Now it's like
4 or 5, now he's 10.
It's like, it's crazy. Like, it's really crazy how 6 years can fly by.
Yes.
Almost a decade.
Yes, quickly.
So it's 2020, and we've been in quarantine for the last, 4 months? 4 or 5 months? How have you been doing with quarantine?
I've actually been doing great. I hate to just say, like, I hate to say it this way, but honestly, like, so quarantine has really been a season for thriving and new growth for me in particular. I have been intentional with the time of just keeping my eyes fixed on God. I'm a very spiritual person. And what I have found is by doing that, one, my relationship like increased in strength and even communication. And then by so, I've been gifted a lot. Like there's been things that I've been able to just hear and see and act on. And that's kind of what the season has like gifted us, or gifted me and my family.
So how the kids taking the whole
school? They love it because they don't mind. Initially, my son, who was in 4th grade, he was like, "Oh, I miss going to school." Now they're like in full summer mode, and they're like, "Yeah, we love life." But we just moved into this home in Spring Branch in January, so it was shortly before quarantine, COVID-19 happened. But we were really blessed with all the neighbors on the street, so we had instant community, and there's kids all down the street who are my children's ages. They're great friends, and especially the neighbor directly next door. We kind of became one family almost, and so the kids were like, they were always able to play with someone. So that was nice.
Really good. So in the last 6 years, like I see on social media, we talk every now and then.
Yeah.
What have changed? Like what have changed the last 6 years? When I met you, you was that cool, funky, cool vibe, hang out in the yoga room, in the dark room, kind of select. You always see the photos in the behind the scenes from our senior year, my senior year. You was that, not that upbeat type elected teacher. You was literally one of those like, that mom, the big sister, the best friend, also the teacher, and the discipline to all of us yearbook kids. We was literally a family. Like what changed from the 6 years since we graduated and left? left you alone?
Man, a lot has changed. So I ended up completely walking away from teaching, which is like a pull on the heart because I really love the classroom. I loved being with, especially in the journalism lab and having like all of you kids around, the staff. I liked that environment to where it was a lot of just letting you guys be free to express who you are, like who you were designed to be and the gifts that you have. And then once you guys had that creative freedom, I mean, it was like magical to see what was created. It really was. So even though you were roaming the halls and doing your thing, like there was still like some awesome, there was just awesome growth that took place because of that. And I just know it was helpful. But since then, so I've been called away from teaching. I took Walk the Line, which was strictly a photography business, and rebranded to a creative company overall. Our tagline is share your story visually, verbally, and socially. And then the business broke down into two sections. I serve families strictly through the means of photography, and then I serve other businesses by doing like custom photography for them, so branding, marketing, headshots, writing services, and then also social media services as well. So the company kind of grew, and expanded, and it also came into more clarity of what Walk the Line is and how it serves the local community, which basically I serve the community by sharing their story through photography, writing, and social media. And then what's been it's been a blessing to see what's happened with Walk the Line. Another blessing that I've encountered over the past 6 years, and really more so just within the last 2 years, has been his Collection Apparel. And that honestly started on February 14th, Valentine's Day 2017. I had a date with Jesus. I was home alone, and I was like, okay, like my daughter was, almost a year old at that point, but she was staying the night with her dad, and I was at the house, and I'm like, I have a choice. I can either take this as a sad, mopey moment and, be like, oh, I'm here on Valentine's on my own, or I can choose it as an opportunity to grow my intimacy with Jesus. And so I did. So I had this like date night with him at the house, all of this creativity flooded through, and then he gifted me his collection, which at the time I thought was going to be this like writers kind of like community. And I think that's still an avenue of growth for it. But basically I have this date, I get this cool concept, and then in that night I do a couple of actions, right? I like buy the domain, I reserve the Facebook and the Instagram like handles and whatnot. And then it just sat. It sat for 2 years before I finally stepped back toward it and really took action. What was neat though is on that day, I was able to see how for the past 2 years, even though I felt like I was just sitting like doing nothing, the reality was like I was going through preparation. Those 2 years were like preparation for things that needed to occur for when I did step into action, relationships that needed to be planted in my life so that they could come into action as well, like at the same time. And so when I stepped forward and moving his collection forward, all these doors started opening. Like literally we had the venue where we held the launch party in December and had this fashion show was an open door to me, and that occurred over those 2 years because of a meeting with the venue owner. And then people like bloggers, influencers, friends, designers, all these people who I ended up meeting during those 2 years have now come into play. And so now his collection is an apparel brand. Our mission is to reflect God's light and love into the world. And we do that by helping to shine a spotlight on the work nonprofits do in their local community. So we tithe to nonprofits, we help share their story, we do collaborations with them. I look for even like local retail locations that want to sell the brand, who then support a local nonprofit giving back to that community. So you can do kind of this cool tithing collaboration that impacts the local community. Within 6 months of launching, we've had like 3 NFL players sign on to help rep the brand and do some marketing collaborations. I got to take my son to the Indianapolis Colts in the first weekend in December of 2019, so before COVID happened. And we did a shoot with George Odom. That's him up there wearing the Speak to the Mountain shirt. Fantastic player. Like he was so sweet, so kind, so gracious. But he was very sweet. Like he gifted us tickets to the game. We got sideline passes. We got to be down there in the tunnel, like as they were running out. And then the next day, he met us at the local nonprofit Shepherd Community Center, talked to the kids, toured it, learned about what they're doing, and then we went back to the stadium and did the photo shoot. So it was really neat to see. And then now we have a Seattle Seahawks player and a Kansas City Chiefs player lined up. Yeah.
We love the Seahawks. My family loves the Seahawks.
Yeah.
So, wow, 6 years.
Yeah.
Really amazing too.
It really has. It has.
You know, everybody always asks me, how do I start my business? Why do I chose to? And believe it or not, you guys, this is right here. Like literally, I have a lot of teachers who taught me a lot of things. You guys know this. My core teacher was typically passed away in December. Then I have my choreography teacher, my drama teacher, but it really is my yoga teacher. You know, everybody talks to me differently, and you legitimately taught me to just be myself, no matter what God can take me. And when I started the IME brand, it really sat there for 4 years.
Yay!
So my book, it was a book for a college time, and I wrote it. It sat there for 4 years. And then last year, I was like, okay, let's do it. And I sat there for another 6 months. The book wasn't even finished until like 2 days for the book release. So I thought the whole book release, not the book finished yet. You know, it was like, it's because of you. Like, to see how you have grown, how good you lived through it, and how you show up no matter what. You're my kid, well, you know, you're my kid don't feel.
They're wonderful.
We know. We photograph random things. Y'all should have shown no 2 reasons why. I'm Tyler. I'm Clay. Like, I'm real like that, you guys. I never thought being a part of your book family was that important to me. I never, you know, been part of your book. It was real. Like, it was like a lot of work to me. I saw it.
It was a lot of work.
Deadline? Oh, she was mean with deadline.
I was not it.
Yeah, coming on the Saturday to do your book work was me. But no, the book's not really good. I actually look at that book every single day. Almost. I look at it, and it's really inspiring. Like, you inspire a lot of people. I don't know if you know that or not, but
thank you for sharing
you
that.
inspire so much. Like, I always, anything you post, I'm always sharing. And cause I love you.
Thank you. I love you too.
Yeah, watch me grow to a little good child. She caught me.
It's fun
she caught
to watch
me
you
to watch
growing.
me good though. She never caught bad TJ. She was bad back in the day. Y'all know I threw chairs at people.
You should definitely have
No.
some attitude that would flare up.
I don't recall. I plead the fifth. Whatever they say in the court of law.
You just
But-
said you turned over chairs. Or threw chairs.
I did. She took my coding page away. I wasn't finished coding the little box. I was trying to do math. I wasn't happy. So I threw the shit out of her. You know, I was a bad 10-year-old child.
That's okay. That's how we can
You
look
know,
back and
that
recognize
was
you've
ancient.
grown, right?
I'm a good teacher. Yeah. Wait, do I? No, I don't throw shit at people. I didn't talk to them much. Walk away from the conversation. So, where do you see yourself for his collection apparel in 2 or 4 years? Like, what's your goal? What's your ultimate? Like, what do you see? Can you see where God's going to take you, or do you just wait till the next door opens?
Yeah, so great question. I have learned to, while I think there is a lot of good that comes out of, forecasting in your mind or being visionary, I've also learned to instead become, like what you see here, a blank canvas. So instead of me, I have a blank canvas and I have an empty frame, and it is intentional. It's so that I can remind myself, like, instead of trying to be the painter of the canvas, be the actual canvas and allow God to be the painter, because like it says in scripture, his ways are higher, his understanding greater, his vision greater. So why not allow him to really paint the picture versus me trying to do that? And what's happened with that, like his collection is really a walking example of living that out, because I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what it will turn into. I have things I desire in my heart, to come out of it. And I hope that comes to fruition. And I will try to walk toward that stuff, but I'm also very open to it flowing whatever way, like, God sees that it's meant to flow. And so one thing, like during the quarantine season, an avenue of growth, or like an arm, like his collection grew an arm. And I was like, I didn't even know that we could have that arm. But I had someone who follows us on social media reached out and ordered 3 shirts to send to his sister, who is the athletic director for a school in San Antonio. And she was testing out the shirts in the brand because she was like, hey, we would like to partner, and for next year, 2020, 2021, order the athletic program through his collection. which is really neat because for me, I was like, oh my gosh, Lord, I didn't even think about the fact that we could be a vendor. Like his collection can be a vendor for companies, for schools, for any organization that they're supplying apparel for a team, for a, whether it's for sale or whatever. And so that was like growth that I didn't even think of myself, but it came to me. And so I'm learning to trust more of that and just go that direction. So now there's a school that we're looking at for potentially becoming their vendor. And then I have 2 companies that have reached out that are also trying to work with us to become a vendor for their teams as well. And what's neat is they can personalize it because we can collaborate and we can either co-brand and put like the company's brand on the apparel. And then we can also look at nonprofits that align with the mission of whatever that company or team is or what their heart is and do a tithing give back from their purchase.
So do you design yourself? Do you have a design team? I come up with all the design because they're really cute.
Yeah, great question. Well, thank you. Well, actually, the new designs, like I'm literally picking up today or tomorrow, waiting on the printer to call me and tell me that they're ready, and they're very different. So the first collection is just called the Genesis Collection, and honestly, it's prayer. Like it is just praying and like, Lord, what is on your heart? What are you dreaming about? I have other people, friends of mine who are kind of prayer warriors, and I ask them like, hey, will you please pray into any designs you see, any ideas? And that's kind of the source of it. What we saw with the next collection and what's going to be coming out is to take what's familiar to the world and then flip the script on it and point it to God. So an example, think about, we used to do this as a project in photojournalism. Remember when we did the pop art, the Andy Warhol, and you had to create pop art? So taking like a design like that pop art, but having it be like an image of Christ with the thorns, or rosary hands with rosary beads. Or my favorite that's coming out, because my son's name is Cash, he is named after Johnny Cash. The famous design that says like Johnny Cash and has 2 guitars, Man in Black. We did that design, but it says Jesus Christ, Man in White.
That is going to be so cute.
Okay, so those will be for sale for the very first time this Saturday in New Braunfels. We've been invited to be a vendor at Upper Room Worship Nights. Upper Room is a band out of Dallas. Awesome worship band. They, like, my favorite album by them is Design. But they'll be playing in an outdoor concert, and then we're going to be there as a vendor. It'll be the first time that the new shirts will be shown to anyone.
That could be pretty
Yeah.
cool. So y'all have no Panther stylists. I know y'all don't.
That's right.
Quincy just
That's right.
Y'all got no. Y'all been out in the house boil. I'm doing TikToks. So go ahead and go on out.
Come TikTok the worship night. Come take some footage.
I like that.
Come get your worship on. Put your hands up. Praise as loud as you can.
Get off the couch, because y'all know y'all been praising
That's
God
right.
on the couch in your pajamas.
It'll be at night,
Uh-huh.
7:30, so it'll be cool by
Get
then.
your nap in.
Yeah.
You gotta be like me. Get your nap in. We used to watch sleep all day. But also, like, so how is Walk the Line Creative going? Like, you see yourself? Where do you see yourself in a couple of years for that?
It's going well. It's moving forward. It's got sustaining business. And what I'd like to see is to still continue to grow it. But honestly, I think his collection is going to end up getting more of my attention as things go on. And Walk the Line, I keep contracts in place for social media. And then I really enjoy photographing weddings. But I won't shoot like more than 1 or 2 weddings a month just because of the demand that they have attached to them.
Yeah, the wedding plan.
Yeah. But it'll be like it'll continue to move forward, but it probably won't receive as much like marketing attention for new growth because it's really kind of capped out right now until I can focus on building up that team more.
Awesome.
Thank you. It's so nice to have you here.
So I like to see you. Like,
Yes.
I'm telling y'all, when I go to Clemens to visit, she's not in the A1. A104 was a yearbook.
That was our room.
You guys know,
Yeah.
A104, that's the spot. Now
It was fun.
Scripted a lot. I don't know what A104 even is no more. There was a fish on the. I think when I walked in my phone, there were like a bunch of pictures on the wall. It's always dark in there. Like they were like vampires. Like a giant fish mural on the wall, wasn't it?
Yes,
like
yes.
aquarium.
Yeah, on the right, big fish mural.
You had the dog
And on the
room.
left, bookcases with like a drapery on the back.
Yes, bing bags.
Yeah. Well, we ended up getting a futon, but I think that was after you.
You had food,
We did get a futon. Sorry, it was the next year.
but at least we had the dog room.
Yes.
The dark room was really dark. It wasn't like a dark room y'all like y'all thought it was. Like y'all thought it was.
It was really the yearbook storage room.
Yeah, a whole bunch of old yearbooks.
Once upon a time, it was a functioning dark room. I'd always hoped to get that going again, but I wasn't there long enough to do it.
I feel like you would have.
I think if I was still there, it'd be in place.
And we found a photo, because you know I'm nosy, y'all. I found a photo of her. Like, cool act on this.
Oh yeah.
The whole yearbook thing that it was
Found the
like
old
then and
yearbook.
then. It was like throwback almost type of photos, and I found an old photo. I told her how that photo popped up on my time.
Really?
Pushed my Instagram. I said, "Oh hey, Miss Amanda Cope, what was your last name? Oh, K."
Orndorff.
Yes.
Orndorff was my maiden name.
She went from that to Marshall. I think I like Marshall better.
It's easier.
AM. Hey, just goes up in the AM. There you go. But any upcoming other events we have coming up? Anything else you want to say to the viewers?
Come out Saturday. You just look up Upper Room Worship Nights. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at His Co Apparel. Think like his company. And then I would just say, if you're watching this, like whatever's being stirred up inside of you, you're probably feeling something inside of like, man, I've always wanted to do that, or you're having some thoughts that like bubble up. Pay attention to them, write them out, and then just pray on it and take some steps towards it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you for having
Guys,
me.
it's going to be pretty epic. Next couple weeks, y'all come up. YouTube, we're now out of quarantine, we can film more. Yeah, so you guys have an awesome, it's June.
It's June. We're
You know-
halfway through the year. I know, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Well, guys, it is June, so happy Pride Month.
Woo!
Stay safe out there. Stay healthy. Wash your hands. Chillax. Be safe if you're protesting. Be safe. Be safe. Once again, I said it in the last video, I don't know what Whataburger and IHOP did to y'all San Antonio, but y'all don't have to bust into it like that. But be safe. Remember what we're fighting for. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. For not only my social medias, but also to Miss Amanda social medias. Buy some mugs. I know I'm gonna buy some mugs.
Yes. You can order the new shirts online now too.
You want the website?
HisCollectionApparel.com.
You got that. And also, it will be also in the next couple of slides. I don't want to put it over here. There's nothing over here. The next couple of slides in this video. Make sure you guys follow us for our cover videos that are coming up. We have 2 cover videos. Follow us.